All right, folks. So I'm Dr. Rajat Chauhan, and I'm the director for sports, exercise, and medicine. And you guys will be, like having an interesting time with me. Anyway, so what I'll do is I'll take you through a presentation, and you can ask me questions. I'll either do one of the two things. Either I'll answer right there and then, or maybe if it's appropriate at the end. So no rules really about it, but keep writing your questions down, okay? And we start the presentation in a second. All right, then. So this is about sports and exercise at Ashoka University, okay? And okay, the intention or the objective is every morning, if I can be seeing you guys running, it could be other physical activities as well. Running I only put because by default I'm a runner, so by default I keep talking about running more. But idea is to provide you physical activities and sports of different kinds, not only limited to running. And this is, by the way, this picture is from Formula One track in Greater Noida. So there's a run that happens there. It's an amazing location. Anyways, so objective. Now, idea is to inculcate in all of you the fitness, the physical activity, exercise, sports, basically introduce all of you to various sports. So it could be hockey, it could be football, it could be squash, various sports like that. So whole thing is, even if you haven't been physically active so far, to introduce you, make you more natural when you're on the court, when you're running, it feels more natural to you. Exercise-wise, exercise is different than just playing a sport. So you have to be fit enough. So that's what I mean by difference between sports and exercise and fitness. So idea is to get your foundation right so you can play any sport then. So that's the whole idea with that. Experiential learning, we could be taking you for treks, we could be taking you for hikes. So learning while you're doing that, even while playing sports, learning from that, and we'll try to integrate it with the curriculum that is in place. Now, mnemonic-wise, I coined something some 8-9 years ago called GIFT. So Ashoka's gift to the society would be, make it fitter. So get India fit. That's what a gift is. You might not be aware, it might sound very negative as well, but 2/3 of people today die prematurely because of lifestyle diseases. Lifestyle being the choices you make in life, to be physically inactive, to be sitting on the couch forever, eating the wrong things. So, things like diabetes and hypertension and cancer and things like that, 2/3 people are dying because of that. So what it then does is, it turns the whole thing about, which till recently everyone was very proud of, that India has the largest workforce, which someone like Nandan Nilekani suggested, that and it'll take care of the rest of the world's aging population. That's not necessarily the correct thing, because it's the largest unfit workforce. So it's not really an asset. Soon enough, it'll actually be a liability for the society, and how do we take care of it? So I look at Ashoka students. Over 10 years, they'll be touching 10 lakh plus lives, and how do they impact them? So we could make a far bigger difference. It's not only limited to just the physical benefits, only limited to the students only. And I would like them to become, really leaders in every sense. So they could be, you could call them young India athletes, where again, the benefits are not only limited to physically, fitter, but saying there needs to be a bigger thing, they need to be excelling in spiritual, mental, and physical well-being. It's a holistic view that we're looking at. When we say spiritual, when you jog or when you're playing tennis, for example, you get into those zones where you're pushing a little harder all the time, and at times you get into the zone and suddenly no amount of pain disturbs you, and you're able to excel at it without any problem. So that being the thing, mental, again, it's not only about who does best in training, it's about how strong you're mentally when sports are happening. Now, that's very, very important. And I'm not trying to create only the world champions, but even getting you a little better than wherever you are. So it's very important how you respond to a particular stress that you actually have. So that's why we're talking about this whole mental and physical. As I said, this third point is ideas to get you to the next level, wherever you are. My intention will be, how do I make you better than whatever you do? How do I make you more physically active than you did previously? But it will have to be a very simple model, and that's what I'm there for. Again, very important to understand, unlike other places, this is not just a tick in the box saying sports and exercise, yes, it's provided. So it's not an extracurricular activity. It's supposed to be part of the whole, you know, courses that are being offered here, like economics of being physically active. You know, how does it affect? So it could be done in that entrepreneur wise. So you know, why don't you create, like one of the students was saying today, something about the tennis bit, and I'll not say anymore, but it was interesting what he had to say about how he could take that further, and it could be a business model around it. So it could be various forms really. We could be starting these various ideas and taking them to the next level for them. Then faculty should lead by example. As you see here, my friend Gil, you know, he really stands out literally, and this is a Delhi half marathon. And we should, as faculty, we will be leading by example. So we'll tell you how to be doing it right. The idea is to create culture of champions. So what I mean by that is that, you know, in US, in UK, the whole culture is the universities are providing those world champions. So whether it's in NBA, whether it's going to the Olympics, but here in India, even the sports colleges don't do that. So forget about the regular colleges. So here, over some time, it'll take me some time. It'll take us 4 to 7 years or so. But create that culture where the sports people are coming out very well. That will only happen if you have a broader base. Okay, so I would start with just working at the grassroots. That's what I really love. But automatically, we'll get champions because if the fitness is right. We will get those people representing the state, the university, after the state, obviously, then the country. So that will automatically happen. We'll have an opportunity here to lead the way in universities, as I said, and we'll select a few sports though. So we'll not be saying we'll look at every sport and excelling at everything right away. The ones that I'm really focusing on right now are swimming, football, running, tennis. If there are other students like in badminton or you know, even in basketball, very interested to look at it. So it's not like complete no, but we will have to kind of look at a few initially, so we can really focus on them rather than trying to be all over the place. So that's the thing there. Now let's talk about the team and, you know, a little bit about, you know, boasting about what we do and stuff. Now that's me. I'm more of a, first I'm a runner and then, you know, whatever else, and that's the main reason that I'm here. So I picked up running at the age of 9. I still run, and it was in a boarding school that I picked up running. So it was like most of you, when I was 16 or 17, that, you know, that question was there in the family, like, you know, what do you do in life? Do you want to pick up just running for life, or, you know, do you want to do anything more? So I ended up being in a medical college. I did sports and exercise medicine after that because that was the only field that was making sense to me. After that, I ended up doing musculo-skeletal medicine. Now, this is a very important one. This was from London. And after having spent 7-8 years, you know, I then realized I did not know how to talk to my patients. I did not know how to touch a patient. Two of the most important ones, or communicate with the patient. Two very important skills that any doctor should have. I did not know that because I was not taught that. And that's the situation in almost all colleges across the globe. So I had to kind of, you know, do that learning, what should have happened in the first semester in medicine or MBBS. Now, when we talk about liberal arts university, trying to make you critical thinkers, better at communication, you know, you'll have such a base that other universities are not even thinking about. So you'll have an edge over them being just a better human being and a better citizen. So, you know, that's how I see. If I was younger, I would be doing all over again, you know, either YAF or probably undergrad as well. Now coming to the, you know, what do I call myself? I call myself militant advocate of increased physical activity and exercise for all. So what I do is I use a couple of platforms really for this. I use Mint newspaper and Forbes magazine's blog. So I blog there on a regular basis, talking about, you know, things that you'll be hearing soon. Now, this is something that I started, Back to Fitness. It's a sports medicine and pain management clinic. Now, this is very important because it's movement to me rather than a clinic. Now, in this picture, you see my son, who's a 7-8 at that time 8, 9 months old, and look at what he's sitting on a chatai, right? Now, you would say some would say it's very, you know, ergonomically how awesome it is and not awesome. Look at him sitting straight. Now that's the more important thing I want you to take. Okay, now here are my cousins. Now these are regular Delhi, IT-based guys or anyone 30-ish. That's what average Delhiite looks like today. And I have a problem with that because, they aren't fit at all. That same evening, as that other earlier picture was taken, it was my cousin's wedding or engagement, but it was it was a happy event. And if you look at all these uncles of mine, very big, thick mustaches, yeah, very proud to be a Rajput, but none of them are smiling. That's because all of them have pain. Okay, so it's very, very important we fix this part because generally our society is headed this way. Now let's talk about my son again, Viren. So sitting upright, then what happened? What went wrong? Now this is a 75-year-old gentleman, a good friend of mine. This picture is 8 years old, and I just moved to Bangalore and we were doing a midnight marathon. This friend of mine, he was then on a cruise with his wife, and he was very upset that he would be away not running with us. So he decided to run on the ship 2 half marathons on 2 consecutive days, 875 and Indian. Okay, so not any Gora, Pila, none of that stuff. One of us. Now, Forja Singh, the guy is 100+ years old and he's still running. He started running at the age of 86 or something, 86, 87. He did his first marathon, 89 years of age, in 6 hours 54. At 92, he did 5 hours 40 minutes. So that's phenomenal. 92 years of age. So we can do it. We Indians can do it. The whole idea is be happy. I mean, that's the whole idea at the end of the day. Okay, so this is one of the events actually I do. This is the 5th year running. In August, we'll be doing it again. Why I bring it up is it's just recently been judged as the top 7 toughest ultra marathons in the world. It's a 333-kilometer run. I'll just show you a short video of it's a trailer to a documentary that's been made on the making of this run. Now the students here will get an opportunity to be part of the crew. Unlike any other university which would not ever offer something like this, they'll be out there helping in middle of nowhere, so like the biggest learnings that have to be done, working with the most elite ultra runners in the world. So here's the video. Me and a friend of mine who were training together, we decided we need to run longer and forget about organized races all over the world. We can do it here. India's amazing. Okay, Abhijit. So which is the route? You're telling me. Okay.
You can see that wall compound over there?
Wall compound. Yes, I can.
That is the road, and it goes down.
Mixing with ultra runners in the different tents out there, I started to hear about more races, so I'll try and make it my aim to do all the hardest races in the world.
After I completed Badwater, I got this Facebook message from some guy named Rajat. He said, "Hey, would you like to come and run my race in the Himalayas?"
When you first contacted me about this race, I said absolutely.
What I really liked about this race, what it seemed to be when I first heard about it, was, wow, somebody in India is trying to do something that sounds kind of impossible, and they're just going for it.
Molly calls me up and says that she just been contacted about a race in India that is going to be running over an 18,000-foot peak. And right away said, wow, I want to do that.
At this point, I was sort of looking for something challenging, more challenging still, because I seem to have done all the ones out there. Everybody in the UK seems to think that this is an impossible feat.
Everybody is saying, this is impossible, nobody can do this. And the course got tougher.
He sent me another email that says, "Okay, what do you think? I'm thinking of going over 2 peaks." And he threw in the tagline on. And I looked at that and I thought, okay, he just did the toughest race in the world.
Is it possible to actually run 138 miles over 2 18,000-foot peaks? Who knows?
I started yesterday, and we started at like 6:30 a.m., but I had to take a break last night in the hospital.
Molly started suffering pretty early on in the run, which I wasn't expecting.
Hey, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm quite feeling too strong. At one point near the top, I remember seeing in the distance the army had arrived, and as I got closer, I realised it'd been an avalanche.
Okay, Ben, how are you feeling?
Actually, not feeling very well.
I got a message that Bill was in the hospital.
He was, Mark. Temperatures were around -2 or so. So what do I do? I mean, he's not feeling well and he's getting hypothermic.
After a while, it sort of dawned on me that this is wrong. This is wrong. Gotta get going. We've got to get down because we could actually just fall asleep here and die.
He lies on the bed. 10 minutes down, air's gone.
I didn't want to think about the possibility of the fact that he just died.
I thought, well, either this is going to be a story about humans doing something that nobody thought possible before, or it's going to be one of these sort of into thin air mess-ups where somebody ends up dying. And, you know, the journalist in me thought, well, either way, I can't really lose. It's going to be a great story.
Decisions can go either way, wrong or right, and this definitely was the wrong one.
Alright, so the idea of showing that video wasn't to kind of promote either the race or actually the documentary that we've done. It's to show nothing is really impossible if you get right guys of people together, passionate, mad people. Impossible really starts yelling out, "Hey, listen, I'm possible." Okay, so that was the whole idea. Everyone, the army and everyone had said it's not possible to do that. Okay, so it was a regular bunch of people, but very passionate who got together and made it happen. Now we're in the 5th year. Now, in September, I started a program called Couch to 6 Kilometer program. And the whole idea with that one was someone who's very sedentary, how do I make them more physically active? Now, this one was primarily for the women because Women's Health and Prevention magazine were involved in it. So it wasn't like, any other reason that why only women. And it was fascinating because I learned while doing this that it's easier to push someone who's already doing very well, so who's very, very tough. It's easy to make him do things which are probably impossible. It's tougher to make someone do when they're at 0 and make them do that 1 or a 2. And that was the biggest learning for me. And I'll show you a video here post. So what we had done was it was in September that we started with this whole training. Plan was to make them do the 6 kilometers in 3 months' time, a non-stop run. So here's a video which will show after the run and what all they thought made it work for them. So we had a very, very good success rate with that. And women from all backgrounds that you will just see.
We see which works for all of us. One is personal commitment, that we all are committed to ourselves, that whatever family hurdles we'll have, we'll just be there in the race and we'll just do it. Only charity. Whatever charity is, everyone has their own stories. Someone tells and someone doesn't tell. That's a different thing. Everyone have their own age. Second C is a coach. Whatever commitment you have, it will end in dirt if there is no one to guide you through your aches, through your pains, and through the right technique and the food, especially all. And the third C, whatever commitment, whatever coach you have, if you do not have a company like this, No. We all have our downs, you see. Coach will only pull you to a level, But the different people doing different things pulls you at a different level. कितना भी commitment हो, कितना भी coach हो करे, but जब तक आप सबके updates नहीं देखते हो ना, peppy updates, everyone is doing, I'm not doing. Coach is a company.
Yeah, so there's also another C, competition.
Oh yeah. Well, okay, here, because our coach was kind enough, he had not made any competition, and why I'm successful is because he asked me to be myself.
Yes. I don't competition.
Believe you me, I was not in competition with anyone, only I was in competition with myself from first day till day. Exactly. Otherwise I would not have done it. I would not have done it. Yeah, I would not. Thank you. you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless teacher.
Right, guys. So as you saw, these are women from all backgrounds, all ages. The youngest one was 13 years old, and the oldest was 60 years old. But did you notice the last C that she had said, or the third C she had said? It was the company. It's an amazing student body that is, just coming up. It's you guys will make a bigger difference. Someone like me is just probably the term I like to use is like a primary catalyst. So it's entirely up to you, but I can just start it off. So it's very, very important where you take it from there. Again, this is that. So the earlier picture was from Delhi Half Marathon. This is from Formula One. So here's a 60-year-old and a 13-year-old together. So there's no limit to who can be physically active. Both of them picked up running at 60 and 13 years of age. Okay. Now Sonam. So Sonam's going to help me. She's going to be the full-time person on campus there. So she's a lawyer. I mean, I'll come to that anyways. But she was one of the girls who was part of this Couch to 6. And now she has run 2 half marathons. She's a health and fitness enthusiast, a national level volleyball player. Okay, now this part's an important one. She's a lawyer by qualification who's giving up her law profession as a profession to join this because she really believes in this dream of Ashoka. So I find it more amazing than actually just having a simple coach qualified from wherever, because she can connect with you guys much better. And she's someone who's an amazing team player, would lead by example, so motivator. If someone can't do it, getting them to be moving more. And then leading by example, right there, showing you how to do it properly. Then Kishan. Now Kishan's a trekker, a runner, a fitness enthusiast with special love for mountains. Now the thing with this guy is, like Sonam, he is a professional. He's a chartered accountant by qualification and working at a MNC as a business development head. He's a strong proponent of fitness as a way of life, big fan of experiential learning, stories become lessons and are rarely forgotten. Now he's a founder for Backpackers Club of Delhi, which started 3-4 years ago and now has 4,000 members who've gone for the treks and all that. So fully into that. Now he, along with his wife, had started something called India Off-Roads. So it's an amazing tagline: stop sightseeing, start sight sensing. So what he would do is he would organize these trips to various areas, and it would align, the trip would align with the university syllabus or the college syllabus. So you could be learning about the culture, the history when you're traveling, trekking, climbing, mountaineering, whatever. So it was a connect that he was doing. Now this is a screen part of the website that he has, but there would be storytelling involved, the mixed bag, the rural getaways, architecture, the nature. They would be doing a lot of these multiple things with the travel. So that's the team that's going to make it happen. There'll be other partners as well. Now what we've done is we've done tie-ups with the top in the business. Now Libro Sports are a bunch of guys who were pursuing football professionally and then decided to do their MBAs and the rest of it. And now what they've done is they've brought clubs like Arsenal into India. Now the I-League that is being done by, I-League is equivalent to the IPL. Now that's been done by Reliance. They have 54 or 56 professional players who they are managing, the top professional players internationally and the top otherwise for these clubs. Now they'll be helping us with a vision: where do we take football, how do we start, and where do we take it from here. So what we'll be having is something called futsal. So it'll be like in a smaller area, football being played by 6-a-side, 7-a-side, and it's a lot more active, fast game that will be there. So they will be involved in really this whole culture of football in our place. Then is Winning Matters. Winning Matters has Olympians as co-founders. The main thing that I'm actually interested in them is because of swimming. They have coaches like, whoever Michael Phelps' coach was involved with them. So they have the know-how, they have the networking. So they would be helping us out or are helping us out with the pool, and otherwise they'll be on board. So the whole idea is the very best that is out there. Now their vision is 20 medals for India at 2020 Olympics. So they are dreaming insane, you would think, but big dreams, why not? India Track Club is India's first professional running club. Again, this is a guy who's a professional runner and that now has come back as a coach and is looking at winning medals for India. So he picks up these kids, youngest being 7, 8 years old, and saying, how can I really take them forward? Very focused on, very elite runners. Then team tennis, one of the top tennis academies in the country, gave India Yuki Bamri. I'm not sure how many of you know, but Yuki Bamri is a winner of Junior Wimbledon. So he's created a lot of these top-level players, a lot who are actually playing on the circuit right now. So again, we'll be tying up with them. Now coming to services. Now what will happen is it's beyond running. So that's very important for you to understand. As much as I keep talking about running is just there because default. I'm a runner. Now, what we'll do is we'll look at fitness. So we would assess your current status, like where do you stand? What's your cardio like? What's your strength like? What's your stretching thing? And again, in cardio, long distance, short distance, we'll be assessing you in various ways. So fitness is not the same thing as sports. Very important to understand that part. There's an overlap, but it's not exactly the same thing. Then customized plan, advice based on what your current assessment says. So we'll make your goals based on that. It'll involve, if you're very sedentary, can I make you literally crawl, to walk, to jog, to run? Idea is to do a little bit more than you actually currently do. We'll make programs for all students to be doing strength training stuff either at the gym or outdoors, but also strength training for if you're a sports elite athlete. So making sure that it's very specific to the sport. And then stretching, of course. Outdoors will be backpacking, trekking, hiking, climbing. Kishan is the main chap behind this. I'll obviously be there. And then outdoor runs. Now ASI has, these lot of areas that are there, but sometimes they don't know enough themselves. So what we'll be doing is taking you on these outdoor heritage walks and followed by runs, making sense of the ruins that you see sometimes. Then introduce all students and encourage participation. So here the idea is to connect it with history and connect it with other subjects that are there. Now we'll also create on-campus facilities. So when you do outdoor activities, suddenly it's not like very alien to you. You already have experienced that. As I mentioned in the earlier slides, you will get to experience the run that I organize in Leh. And then Diwali and other vacation, we'll have treks that will be going. Now sports. Now, sports-wise, when it comes to running, and I've only done running in detail because it applies to all other sports as well, we'll be creating Ashoka runs. So these are running events on campus and off-site. And the whole idea would be we'll have an annual calendar. And in various parts of NCR and pretty soon North India at least, every month we'll go out, do a run. Initially only for our students and faculty, but soon enough open to others as well. Why shouldn't this infection spread outdoors or to other people as well? And then participating in other running events that are happening. So again, a lot of these events will be all over the place, and I'll help you out with which should be done, which should not be done. And the whole idea of these events is it's not only about winning it, it's also about a lot of participation is very, very important. I plan to start something called Universities Running League. So idea is, why don't we have an IPL at a university level, for various sports? Now, all 3 points that I mentioned are applicable to each sport that we pick, whether it be tennis, swimming, football, squash, badminton, volleyball, basketball, anything else you come up with also. So universities of similar levels, why don't they do things? And I'm not talking about the regular university games that happen. I'm saying, really, let's have some class, where it's not about cheating, it's not about doping, it's not about, the bureaucracy, the way things you might have seen when, nationals happen. So it's to get class into that. And when I say class, I mean quality. Now, enablers. Eating right. So advisory and accessibility in campus. So even whatever the mess will provide you, the kitchen food, even others that will be vendors that will be providing it's very important we inculcate the right habits into you. So you might not thank me right now for it, but soon enough, 2, 3, 4 years, when you see your other schoolmates, having various other issues, you'll be like, oh my God, I'm glad, some things were right for us at the campus. Ergonomics. So most chairs that are sold as ergonomics and tables and all that, you know what? They're not fit enough. They're not right enough for you. And I'll tell you how to be sitting right, how to be standing right. It might sound very simple, but most of us don't know how to do that. Having done all that I've already spoken about, what we'll end up doing is we'll end up preventing a lot of injuries that would have happened to you otherwise. So again, none of us appreciate prevention because you've not faced that issue, but you'll know when your batchmates again are getting various injuries and diseases and all that. That will be like amazing lifestyle we led, and it was a lifestyle change for life. Okay, so the last slide really. Now infrastructure, and a lot of you would be interested in this. Now it's on purpose. I don't have pictures from the campus, but I'll take you through what all facilities we'll have. Now outdoor facilities, which will be ready by 1st of August 2014, which is now before or 15 days after the 4th batch of YF joins, and a month before you guys undergrads join. So we'll have 2 tennis courts, 2 volleyball courts, hockey/football field, so it's the same field that will actually be providing both of them, and then cricket, hockey, and a football field. That's a separate field. A basketball court, running, walking track around the whole campus. That's a 2-kilometer track that will be there. Again, there'll be 2 parts to it. One will be kacha, one will be a pakka part of the track. A cycling track parallel to that all along the periphery again, and a temporary gym, which probably will happen maybe not 1st August, but 15th August maybe. Okay, and this is the second last thing really. Indoor facilities. Now these we are expecting early, but promise-wise we'll stick with a little conservative date. So it's 1st March 2015 is when we are looking at the indoor sports complex coming up. We'll have an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Idea here is to again get you guys all to be very comfortable in the pool. I'll make sure you get in there at 6 a.m. in the morning. But let's talk about that later. But 2 double squash courts of very, very good standards. Multi-purpose court for basketball and badminton. So that'll be a multi-purpose area. It'll also be used for various programs. If we have matches going on TV, and all of us want to watch it together, so 500, 1,000 folks could sit together and watch it on a projector. So a great multi-purpose court that will be there. Then state-of-the-art gym. So that temporary gym will shift here, and it's a 4,500 square foot area, and we'll have state-of-the-art different body parts and free weights that will be there. So machines as well as floor exercises, as well as the free hand exercises with free weights. They'll all be there. Table tennis and billiards facilities will also be there. The whole idea is creating an environment where which we're very, very happy to be a part of. So that's what we're trying to do at Ashoka. Okay, so I'm done with my presentation, and now let's try to answer the queries. All right. Okay, so this is a question. I'm not sure if all of you can see questions or not, but I'll read it out for you. I've been into cricket and also in our school's table tennis team for years, but I've been out of practice since about 3 years. Would there be TT facilities among others to rejuvenate my skills apart from staying physically fit holistically? Okay, great. Yeah, thanks for that question. So what we'll have is we'll have various committees that will be formed. These various sports that are there, and like for yourself, you could very well be the one heading the table tennis council and saying, how can I take it forwards and how can I train other guys? So one, you get to take it forwards, you get to tell me how to do better things. So that'll be very useful for me. You'll do my job really. But soon enough, when quality is getting better for you and your friends, we'll see that we, one, provide you with very good coaching. Second, take you to the events and tournaments that are happening, all across the board. So that's the thing. Now cricket, even though I did not mention on my presentation. But cricket, there's an amazing guy. I just spoke to him yesterday. He talks about cricketing athletes. So unlike other guys, who talk about cricket as a, like it's not a fit sport and it's not for athletes, he's a guy who's very, very keen on it. So we'll have him on board. I'm pretty sure that we'll get him on. So is there anything we can do before we actually arrive on campus? So, that's, I do a program called, online program called Smilers. So S-Milers, I mean, that's the whole idea. So smile and, mile and smile kind of a thing. So if you want to be a part of it, more than happy, I can create something for students. It's something that has to come from you, so someone like me will always have a lot of things that are there. So you'll have to get back to me saying, hey, listen, very, very keen on getting moving right away. So you'll have to tell me about that. More than happy getting you working on that. Okay. Now let me see what else is there. So I've already answered about sports infrastructure that I've done. What kind of organized training will be available at Ashoka? As I said, we'll be looking at the very top in each sport. So they will be the one who will be providing the coaching or getting me the manpower for that. Will there be individual coaches for each sport available at Ashoka? So same answered again. Will they be at par with coaches at other good sports organizations? That's the whole idea. I have tied up with the very best. They'll be better than most of the good sports organizations, so don't you worry about that. Then, will sports be part of the curriculum at Ashoka? Not initially, at least. There's no minor, major, or a course for sports, but it'll be in connection with other courses that are there, with history and English and the rest of them. Philosophy, we are already talking about doing a project together between sports and philosophy. So it'll be as part of other subjects, not as a standalone yet. Then the next one is, will students be given time out of class schedule to practice sport? Yes and no. This was a question that was posed earlier today during the campus visit. It's going to depend on the faculty. It's not going to be like a very generic kind of a statement or a policy on this one. One, if someone's very good and they are going for tournaments, we will look for it. It'll never be a no, but we'll try to see how can we work around it, because if you're missing classes, that's an issue as well. So we'll have to see like how do we kind of catch up with that. Okay, so I'm a national level squash player. How will Ashoka help me get better? You'll get the very best squash coach that will be there. Then we'll be looking at how do we get some coaches involved. We'll also see how do we connect with something like a city fort, for example. So we will get you to the next level. That's the whole idea again here. Okay. And let me see if I've missed out any other questions. Okay, so for people who have actually been involved in sports earlier but have lost touch, is there the option to revamp ourselves or start from scratch? You know what, so basically what I'm looking for is someone who's not physically active. I'll get them active. Someone, as you say here, who has already been doing things, I'll make sure you get to the next level. Okay, so leave it to me again. Elite already, how do I get them? How do I give them an opportunity to even excel, national level, and then saying representing the country? So yes, there's a plan around it. For people who have actually been involved in sports earlier, okay, I've answered that. So not related to Ashoka, but I would be glad if you could guide me. Can you suggest something to wake up early? I really want to, but it's difficult to sleep early. Get in touch with me. I'm on Facebook, with you guys. Put questions there. More than happy. Maybe I think it's going to be tough, but tough in the sense like you have to break the circle that you're in right now. Your parents will have to get somehow involved in it, but you'll have to just put yourself to bed sooner. But I'll, just get in touch because there's a one-off, and we take it from there. I mean, I can guide you on a few things, what to eat and what exercises to do. I think we can talk about that. Okay, let me see if I'm missing out on something. Okay, any other questions, guys? Okay, I'm on Facebook. I'm more than happy, and I can't say that for the rest of the faculty, but I'm more than happy if you just either send me these friend requests and all that. It'll help though if you tell me in a separate message, hey, listen, we are from Ashoka. Uh, so more than happy to be on this whole Facebook thing. Because I primarily use my Facebook for work-related stuff rather than the whole personal bit. So more than happy doing that. So get in touch with me on Facebook, no issues. My email is very simple. It's Rajat, R-A-J-A-T, Chauhan, CHAUHAN, at ashoka.edu.in. So just email me. Again, unlike other people, I'm very happy if you bug me. If I don't answer to you in next 6 hours or 12 hours, it's a good idea email me again. Okay, because sometimes I just forget things. Are my spectacles not a barrier while I run? I actually swim with my spectacles as well. So no, they don't fall off. I used to wear contacts earlier, but I, at the age of 17 or 18, actually developed something called retinal detachment. Okay, so what is basically happening is my retina was kind of falling apart from the rest of the eye types. Okay, and the surgeon who kind of did the laser on me, he said, from now on you should stop your running, you shouldn't do any strength training and the rest of it. And he did not know what he was doing to me. He was taking my life because, running meant everything to me. I listened to him for like 5-6 months, and then I was like, I don't care, man. If I can't run, what's the point? But then I stopped wearing contact lenses because I thought maybe those were the ones which did it. So now I just do it with my glasses. I have run like 200 odd kilometers and all that non-stop stupid stuff like that. My glasses have never come in the way. What it does is it's great because even my sunglasses are of power, so it really helps. It really works for me. So no, I don't think that's a big issue for me. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Okay, so just the last bit for you guys. So in my opinion, if you go back to your own schools, since you guys are just freshly out of school, seriously, how many classes do you remember? How much do you remember what was taught in which class? Okay, just kind of picking it up and saying what happened. Now, while I was in a boarding school, all I remember was someone caning me on my butt and telling me to run. That changed my life. So, that physical activity that they gave me, that is now a big part of my professional life. So, what will be ended, my role at Ashoka is not about making you physically active, it's more about, it's a bigger one, it's trying to make you better human beings, and whoever you get in touch with, making them fitter as well. Okay? So, I think it's a bigger role than you guys expect. So you're supposed to be more responsible citizens, and you get on with it, yeah. So you learn a lot more when you're out there, like discipline, punctuality. Okay, football for girls. I'm very, very excited about that part. So, okay, so I believe when girls play sports, whether it is simply running, whether it is playing tennis, whether it is football more than any other sport because it's almost like a contact sport as well. When you're aware of your environment, you become better at handling yourself when you go out at evenings, at nights, at discotheques and stuff like that. I think you can handle yourself better with people around. So football for girls, a definite yes, and all girls are going to play football. Don't you worry about that. And the question about hiking, trekking, etc. seems to be very compelling, but would we have wall climbing? Okay, see, wall climbing is a little tricky. So initially there is a plan to do wall climbing, but there's a place in Delhi that has just been set up by a friend of mine. We'll look at getting out of the campus once in a while. And what he's created is very difficult for the university to make and then actually maintain. It took him 2 years to do it. He spent 2 years just doing that, and then maintaining it is a very, very tough one because it's very technical. So what we'll definitely do is every week or every fortnight, if you can go to a facility like that and actually do it. I already got him on board as well. So you will have that, okay? Will participants be allowed, will students be allowed to take part in La Ultra? So I'm very, if you thought getting into Ashoka was difficult, or if folks think getting into Harvard is tough, it's tougher to get into La Ultra. Now, why I say that is it's a tough event. It's a dangerous event, which with speciality, with all my expertise, we make it into a tough one. So let me say that again. I, with my team, make a dangerous event into a tough one, okay? So if you show to me that, hey, listen, I'm very, very good at running and I'm getting tougher and tougher, I'm great at trekking and climbing and all that, why not? The youngest so far has been 26-year-old girl who had just finished her law from Australia. We need to break that, and why not one alumni or a current student of Ashoka? It'll be amazing to have that. Besides that, I'll always be looking at how the students from Ashoka could be crew members at La Ultra, so who make the run happen in the first place, and I think that's tougher than actually running it, or as important. Okay, and I think that's really it. Done that. Diet, something about the diet, sorry. Okay, one of you had asked about diet, let me see. Since diet is important part of fitness training, would there be a regulated good plan for us? Okay, so first thing first, right now is just to make it a little bit more nutritious food that should be available. What happens in sports, you'll be surprised, but there are very good studies recently saying a lot of these supplements that are available today there isn't enough evidence to say that, for most of them, that they're really helping you. So I'll make sure whatever is actually happening, there's scientific backing behind it. Now, I didn't say that earlier, but I also happen to be associate editor for British Journal of Sports Medicine. Now, the whole idea is someone like me translates that whole very technical stuff into very layman's terms, because what's happening right now is, regular papers are just, regular journalists are writing about technical stuff without knowing what it is, and they're quoting things incorrectly sometimes. So someone like me kind of makes sense. What does it mean? So don't you worry, again, we will have plans which will take care of you when you're doing elite stuff, but first, let me get basic stuff right for you guys. Yeah, so Pratika, we'll make sure you have a lot of food, so don't worry. Okay, let me see if I've missed out on any question. Yeah. Okay, guys, so as I said, I am on Facebook, I am on email, easily available, and it's fine if you're using the email as well. Get in touch with me, more than happy to kind of answer your questions, whatever you have, we can take it from there. It will be a great idea if you can form some clubs beforehand. If someone said about table tennis, someone mentioned about cricket, if you volunteer already, you get on with it. Let's get started. So you could help me saying, hey, these are the things we need. Get on with it, and not only running, so tennis. Just keep giving me your ideas. We keep building on them. I'll connect you with the other team members that I have, and that's really it. So should we? All right, guys. Thank you so much, and take care. Bye.